Ladies and gentlemen, Dino Dude Rocket here. It is wonderful to welcome you back to the channel because I want to talk to you about something that is kind of important, I think, at least based on my channel's history. And that is this, the Galaxy Fold. If you are a long-time subscriber to the channel, you may remember that a little while ago I did a video about the Galaxy Fold, a phone that I bought refurbished. And I basically did a little video saying, like, is it a good idea, is it not a good idea, what do you think? In that video I basically concluded that as long as you're okay accepting the risks of using a phone that is experimental and you're okay with taking the risk of buying something that might not be in perfect condition, then it was an okay bet. I still stand by that. However, the Galaxy Fold at this point is reaching a rather difficult stage in its life. This device here is 3 years old. Now, when the Galaxy Fold came out, loads and loads of people said it's delicate, it's fragile, it won't make it past a year, you will break it within 12 months. I'm pleased to announce they were all wrong by about 24 months because the device is struggling a lot. I have significant difficulties trying to use this device now, and there are various problems with it which have made it so difficult to use that I'm kind of done at this point. After about 2 years of using this as my daily driver, I am going to be switching to something else. I'll show you what that is at a later date, but for now let me explain my reasons for leaving this device in the cupboard. Firstly, we are starting to have some problems with the main screen. Now, I have not been an angel with this device. I have babied it, yes. I have kept it as safe as possible, yes. But drops do happen. And in one of those drops, well, we got some dead pixels. As you can see here, we lost access to some of these pixels up in the top left-hand corner of the screen, as well as at the right-hand side. Now, when using the phone every day, this sort of just blends into the background, the same way as the crease is not visible to me, at least when I'm using the device now because I'm so used to it. But it is still something to note, and it does knock off a massive amount of value. Damaging this interior screen is a problem. The issue is, however, with this being an experimental device, I can't just go to my local phone shop and get a replacement screen. No, I'd have to go directly through Samsung, and their quote was over £500. That's more than my car cost. Damage to the screen. This would not have happened on a phone with a strong, even normal display, but it happened to this one because of the soft plastic inner layer. These kind of damages would not have taken place if the same actions were done to a phone with a normal glass screen. But I can't be too annoyed, because again, I did drop the phone. As much as I hate to say it, and as much as this phone is quite weak, I dropped it. It's on me, and so I won't complain too much. What I can complain about though, is the absolute hardship it is every time I try and type on the outer display. I've no idea what's going wrong with the device, but something inside just means that using this internal keyboard is impossible. You can type, yes, but as soon as you start to get going, it just misses letters left, right and centre. It did not used to have this problem, so all I can assume is that the device has just become weaker over time. And that's sad. This is a £1,900 device. It shouldn't deteriorate like this. Before buying my Galaxy Fold, I saw a couple of videos in which people showed that the device does crinkle almost when you touch it, and that it doesn't lay flat on a desk after being used so long. I can confirm this is true. I mean, listen to this. And when I do lay it flat, well, I kind of don't. On the plus side, I have become very, very good at one-handed opening and one-handed closing of the device. I'm also noticing various software quirks with the device. Now, this may not be specific to the Galaxy Fold, but a lot of things go on that shouldn't. For example, if I try and download a large file from Google Photos, it will just download about 75% of it and then it will just vanish and it will stop. The same thing happens if I try and upload files to Google Drive. it will just randomly stop and say waiting for network, even though the device is connected. Additionally, I can have full bars of signal and a good Wi-Fi speed and it will still stutter and buffer on videos. Using Google Assistant on the device is just difficult. It doesn't work half the time, and the other half the time it doesn't hear what I say properly. Sometimes it just ignores me when I try and activate it, which is just infuriating. And despite the fact that folding phones have been out for a long time now, certain apps still don't work properly. Instagram, for example. However, I'm not making this video just to rant about the phone on these points, because I've saved, unfortunately, the worst point and the most inexcusable to last. At the beginning of the video, you may have noticed that I was using this. It's a wireless charger designed specifically for Galaxy Fold devices, but why would I plug a Type-C cable into a very slow wireless charger to then charge up my phone very slowly when my phone has a fast charging Type-C port? Don't have to be a genius to figure it out. About 3 months ago, the port on this device gave up the ghost and stopped working without any warning. Now, unlike my Asus ROG phone, this device only has one port on it. It will now no longer charge, but more importantly, it won't let me transfer files. I've got a 50 gigabyte 5600 audio file collection of my favourite tunes. This is a collection I've been building since my first Android phone when I was a boy, and I've added substantially to it on this here device. Now, whenever I change phones, I simply plug my old phone into the computer, take all the music off it, and put it on my new phone. But because this device doesn't have a working file transfer port or charging port, I'm not able to do this, which has meant that my 50 gigabyte music collection has had to be transferred from this device to the cloud painstakingly without using any hardwired connections. 5,600 files and 49 gigabytes over the air. It's been an absolute nightmare because all these files are just in different places on the device. And sure, there are tools like CX File Explorer or even the default File Explorer that let you put all your audio files in one place, but you can't then just upload them all to Google Drive, for example, or to Dropbox because it's far too large. I have a premium Google Drive subscription, but it still won't let me upload that many files. It says select fewer files. It was difficult. You can't wirelessly share it. I tried to use Snapdrop, it didn't work. Eventually I used a Wi-Fi file transfer app and I was able to transfer about 40 gigabytes of my 50, and that's all I can hope for. I'm going to lose literally over 1,000 songs that I've spent years creating just because of this device letting me down. The battery life is disastrous. Never before have I been so abandoned by a device that I relied upon. Several times this thing has let me down when I needed it. For example, the other day I left home in my Reliant Robin and I had this phone with me. When I left, the phone was on about 50% battery and I was uploading a Google file that is part of the Reliant Robin episode 4 that I'm working on. That file upload in the background killed my phone in an hour. So I left, I went for a drive, it was good fun, parked up at a supermarket, went around, grabbed all the things I needed, got to the checkout, the device was dead. I hadn't been using the device, the battery saver option was turned on, it had been closed on the passenger seat next to me for an hour without being used, and it had died on me. I had to go around this entire supermarket and put everything back. It let me down, but that's not the worst thing. The battery life is also dangerous. I went to see my girlfriend recently, she lives in Wales, and we decided to climb up a mountain together. It was amazing fun. However, even though the device was at 100% when I left home, a couple of hours later, when I reached the top of the mountain with her, it died. I had barely used it. I'd taken a couple of photos and maybe like a few 10-second videos. The screen time was minimal, and despite this, the device had just died on me in my pocket. This thing burns through power like nobody's business, even if it's not being used. My girlfriend had her phone on her, thankfully, but had she not, this would have meant that I would have been far away from civilization, in a position where I was not able to get help through any means other than my mobile phone, and this phone's battery life was so bad that despite being fully charged just a few hours later, it had died upon me. I would have had absolutely no way to call for help should I need it, even though the device should have had plenty of juice. Here we are at 51%. Oh, look at that. An hour and a half until full. It is about 4 hours to fill it up from 0. It's ridiculous. It takes ages. It's at the point I don't get a lot of sleep sometimes because I'm busy. I have things to do, and it's at the point where I may go to bed, plug this in, and I wake up and it's still not fully charged. It is so slow. The wireless charging speed of this device is only 15 watts. It's unacceptably slow and unreliable. For all these reasons, the Galaxy Fold has outstayed its welcome for me. The compromises have just become harder and harder to deal with, which is even more annoying because the software is so good. This device still runs pretty seamlessly. It is enjoyable to use. The multitasking is amazing. Watching videos on it is brilliant, and it is still the best device out there that folds for watching videos. Bite me. Because look, it's so tall and so thin. So when you watch a video, you can get more of the video in. All the other folding phones are more square than this, so when you zoom in to watch a video, you're losing more. I don't understand why folding phones keep getting cubier. Why not get rectangular, longer? Let us watch videos on them, because that's what they're for, right? This huge screen in your pocket is amazing for media consumption, but none of the new ones have an aspect ratio as long as this, and I don't want to downgrade to something that isn't going to show me as much video content. And I also don't really have $1,500 lying around to just buy a new one, and I'm not sure I want to, because this one has let me down so many times. So I'm using it again for the next 2 weeks, and then a new phone is arriving, one that I can actually rely on. It's not exciting, it doesn't fold, but it should do the trick, and really what I need right now is something that does the trick and something I can trust. Oh, and one thing I'm kind of having a hard time demonstrating because it seems to just pick and choose its moments, but if you have one of these devices you may know what I mean. The auto rotate is just atrocious, it just doesn't work properly. Didn't want to end the video on such a depressing note, so I just wanted to say as well, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. I'd hope to see you in the future. Bye bye!